Okay. Well, we'll wait a second then.
He was having a connection issue. But I hadn't heard from Mike today.
So has James joined us yet?
Nope.
All right, we'll give him just another minute or two then.
Can I say something?
Well, sure you can.
Okay. Fleming was going to discuss the color scheme of the exterior of the fire station.
Yes.
Shouldn't all of the public buildings be similar in color?
Probably. So the problem is on new public buildings, on these types of buildings, they're only allowed to have certain color roofs on them. They can't. I don't know why that is, but it's for energy savings purposes.
Well, the city hall is the brick and then the green trim.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be
Yeah.
good to do all the public buildings like that so that people would kind of?
Yeah.
Well,
We can talk to them when we get to that point. We're not gonna, when they're here, we can talk about that. Because
okay.
I don't really know enough about it
Okay.
to talk about it.
Okay, so do we anticipate them being at the board meeting for that, or?
They didn't talk to me about that tonight, but I mean, this afternoon, but I will call them and see if they're gonna be there at the board meeting before the end of the week. I'll let you know. Or you'll see it in the packet if they're gonna be there.
Okay. All right, I see where Mike has joined us. What about James?
Nope, James is still not on there yet.
Okay. Well, it's 6 after. Let's, you say he's having connection problems?
Well, he called me about 5 minutes before the meeting started and he wanted me to send him the link again. But something might have come up too. He might have gotten a phone call or something,
Okay.
so for his business. So.
All right, well, we will go ahead and start then. Item number 1, finance, review financials and individual fund recaps.
Yep, we inserted the budget amendment into the general fund budget. Year to date, general fund is pretty interesting financially. I don't know where we are usually at this time, but can't imagine we're at positive 477 like we are right now, and that's only with about little over 50% of our property tax collected. So I don't know where we are going to be by the end of the year, but we ought to be in pretty good shape. And you can see where we are fund balance wise right now at the moment. Everything else, of course, we had a good month in gas, I would say. Even though we probably won't see those revenues until April's meeting, but February's revenues we'll probably see in April. But January's revenues are pretty big also. So we ought to catch up very quickly in gas. That's the way it is every year.
Okay. Are there any questions? And I don't know, I'd need to figure out some way where I could see everybody so that I could tell if anybody is trying to get my attention.
I haven't figured out a way to see everybody yet, Mayor. So, because all I see
You
is the one
can-
person talking.
You can raise your hand if you,
If you're on a computer with a bigger screen, you can open it up to where you can see a lot more people and then drag a corner. And then you can see everybody that's on there.
Well,
I
not
can
when
do
you
that.
take up with all the, all right, wait a minute. I found something here. Okay.
There's a little, I don't know if you, the grid on the video thing there, you can maybe open it up to 9 and then just grab a corner and just drag it and you can see everybody. Expand it.
Okay. Okay. Any questions on finance? I don't see any. Review expense line item overruns.
So apparently I missed one of the line items at the budget amendment. So I have one line item in general fund that's still over. City recorder professional services. Street aid is over in signs. Just a couple of new ones there, sewer and gas. But just more expenses than we anticipated in those places.
Okay. Capital projects and purchases.
Yep. Are there any questions on that list there? Everything is pretty much moving forward. I haven't heard anything about the purchase of the rifles from Chief. So I don't know if that's canceled or not. I did write canceled on there, but I'm not sure where he is on that. And the water system modeling is not on the agenda for discussion, I don't think. I was going to put it on there and we didn't. We talked about it and we're going to try to talk about it at the retreat.
Okay, now there's $200,000 in capital outlay in the general fund public works. Where is that on here? In the
In
budget?
public works
Yep.
or in fire.
No, I thought it was in public works, but
So that's the firehouse project, and I did not add it to that list. I could add it to that list if you want. In the budget amendment, there was $200,000 in the fire department, fire fund for working on the, where I figured we might be by the end of this year, end of this fiscal year, on the firehouse project.
okay.
And I don't know if we're going to get there or not. I just thought I was just projecting. And then, of course, the revenue offsets that completely. So because we'll be borrowing, if we are there in June, we will start the bond anticipation note in June and start collecting money to offset those expenses every month from the bond anticipation note.
Okay, any questions on that? Sales tax.
We had a halfway decent December, looks like, down there, which is February's revenue. It's the largest month that we've had since we've been keeping track of sales tax. Well, since I've been keeping track of it anyway.
Hey, Bob, would you scroll up just a little bit?
Like that?
Yeah, that I can see it now. Thank you.
Okay, yep.
And you said February is actually December's?
Yes,
Is
sir.
that correct?
Yep.
Okay.
We find out on February 20th what was collected in January according to the sales in the previous, in December. So all the sales in December, of course, end on the 31st of December. Those sales have to be reported in January. I mean, the money's collected in January, and then by the February 20th, we receive that data from the state. So that's December's sales tax.
All right, any questions on that? The next item is the,
I got one question, Ronnie.
All right.
When did we start receiving sales tax from the online sales? When did that start?
it's been, it actually started about 2 years ago, but they made a change in October, I believe, of this last year. Prior to that, a company had to have $500,000 worth of sales in Tennessee before they had to collect it.
Okay.
Last October, it went to $100,000. So that's when it really picked up. And there were more and more companies beginning to pay that like they were supposed to anyway. So, but it just seems to have exploded here in the last few months, actually.
Yeah.
Why is there a limit? Why not all sales tax online?
Well, it theoretically is all sales tax online, but a company only has to collect it and report it and give it to Tennessee when they do more than $100,000 in sales in Tennessee. Now, the people that buy still owe the tax. You're supposed to go to the Department of Revenue website and report that you bought something that you didn't pay sales tax on, and you pay the sales tax. But of course, a lot of people don't do that. But any company that does more than 100,000 in sales has to collect the sales tax and remit it to the state. But I think there are probably a lot of companies out there that have set up their systems that are probably paying anyway, or that's what it appears to be. Sales tax is up all across the state. Every city I'm aware of, probably not Somerville and Gatlinburg,
Probably not.
but most cities are up. I talked to one city today where their sales tax is up 7%, their local sales tax.
7?
7. And that's about where the state is in its projections. The state has not suffered, at this point in time anyway, has not suffered the decreases in taxes that everybody was anticipating. In fact, it's been getting sales taxes a lot stronger than it was in 19 or 20, either one. And we never really saw the dip in 20 that everybody anticipated or thought there would be. There's James, he's joined us. Welcome, James. Any other questions? Next item is renewing the Fair Theater lease with Star Incorporated.
So the lease right now is for 36 months for $200 a month, starting on April 1st. So, and we also have the ability to enter the premises 3 or 4 times a year based on availability if we want to have a special event there 3 or 4 times a year. So, but that would be a subject to availability from them.
And when we say enter, you mean we could hold an
Put on a
event
show
there?
there. Yes, sir. Put on a show
Okay.
there. Yes. I'm sorry.
Okay. Are there any questions?
I think that, isn't that kind of seem like what we talked about, Bob?
Yes.
That we would be able to, still kind of have access to our own building.
Yes. Yeah, we talked about that at a workshop or the board meeting a couple of times ago, or I don't know specifically when we talked about it, but yeah.
Okay.
Bob, is it 3 or 4 times? I
don't really think
I read it, but I can't remember.
I think you said 3 or 4 times.
I said it says 3 or 4 times. It doesn't. 3 or 4 times is what it actually says, Mike.
Okay.
I really don't.
It just
Yeah.
says up, you just went past, it said up to 4 times and P.
Up to 4 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't find it just looking
letter-
at it.
Letter P, right? If you scroll down.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, then there's no more discussion on that. We will move that forward to the board meeting. Review the design and competitive quotes for the front counter.
Yeah, I don't think well, I do have the competitive quotes on there. Okay. This is the design for the grant for the front counter. Whoops, sorry. This is the quotes do not include the glass. I know that we could potentially have one more quote this week from another vendor. So they're working on that for us, and we could have 3 by next week. This counter is for this grant is for up to $8,000 with a 50-50 match. So even though it would cost us $8,000, it would only cost us $4,000. So because the other half would come from a grant from public entity partners. And then we would go back and install a glass system afterwards, because most of those cabinet people don't really have the ability to add that glass at a relatively reasonable price. So we're coming up with some other ideas for the glass. And we wanted to show you kind of the reason why we need such an extensive project here. I'm sorry. If you'll notice here, right here, the countertop is basically this height right now, which is almost 48 inches tall. Behind over here are cash drawers, and under this smaller spot is a cash drawer. So we will have to move the cash drawer that's over here to another location, which is over here on this side, if you can picture all this stuff. So on the side over by Debbie's desk, if you've seen our office space, you'll know that counter is going to be extended so that we can put the computer, our third computer, which is right here on this counter right now, move it over to this shelf over here and install the drawer underneath here. Removing it from reach from the front counter. Once we get the glass installed, it'll all be more secure. And it also includes, I call it a knee wall. I don't know what you call it, but a place for a wheelchair to go underneath the front counter to do business at the front counter without having to reach across their entire body to do business with us. So I'm picturing these little slots a little bit wider than that, just because, sometimes we have papers 8.5 by 11 or 12 by, larger papers have to go through there. Plus, I might consider putting a speaker here or something so that people can hear you easier, because it's going to be a glass, probably 2 speakers, 1 on each side. Anyway, that's what it looks like. And I just wanted to show everybody. We do have a couple of quotes on there, but we should have another quote this week for that. It's hard to get quotes. We've approached 5 people so far. And I think D&G is actually working on it right now. So-
Actually, we did, Mike French had mentioned Mr. Beckworth. I did contact him and he told me, he was like, thank you so much for calling, but he said he was so slammed. And then the week of snow put people even farther behind. But he told me he was not comfortable to give us a quote just because he wouldn't be able to have it finished by the time the grant would be required to be done, which was May 1st. So we did contact him, and there were a couple of others that we contacted, and they just said, hey, look, we're so busy. The housing market is insane and people are doing upgrades and things like that. So.
And, we do not have to do this grant. It's a grant that came up that Mendy found with PEP. And we can do this. We can fix this front counter for ADA compliance and only pay half the cost. Or, after you add the glass, it'd probably be a little less than half the cost, but at a reduced price over what it would cost us to have somebody come in here and do it without the grant. And, there's just some logistic issues that create a larger project than just cutting the end off it and lowering that one counter. There's some other logistic things that need to be taken care of, like the cash drawers and the computer, the third computer that's up front. So, the goal here is to get City Hall open at some point. We need to start talking about that. We do have a screen that we built that would go on the current counter. It just sits on the current counter, and it sits probably about 4 inches off the counter. And, we could use that if we had to do that. But we would prefer to make it ADA compliant. And then City Hall would be ADA compliant at that point, completely ADA compliant at that point.
Except for the front entrance.
Well, the front door, we do have a rear entrance though, that is ADA compliant.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Judy Accardi also recommended Mr. Beckworth.
Yeah, well, like I said, I did contact him, and he was very nice, but he said, I'm not, interested in giving a quote just because I can't have it done in the time needed.
Well, he actually
Thank you,
said
Wendy.
we have to have it done by May 1st. He couldn't even give us a price before then, is what he actually told us.
Right.
So this has to be done by May 1st in order to qualify for the grant. So if we don't award it this month, we probably just forget about it. Which is okay. It doesn't matter.
Would the glass be bulletproof?
That's a lot more money
Oh,
to do that.
We were looking at, to make it bulletproof for one of the companies, it was $12,000 additional. I do have Fayette Glass. If we choose to go forward, I will be getting several quotes from them just because they deal in glass. I think they might be a little cheaper. But yeah, it's bulletproof glass is very expensive. They've got bulletproof and bullet resistant, which was a little bit cheaper.
Well, there's also just, safety
Right.
glass or
Regular,
other things
right.
that we could use too.
a what? I
Like
didn't hear that.
Something that's not, of course, it won't be bulletproof, but the counter won't be bulletproof either. In order to line that with a bulletproof material would cost a lot more money also.
Okay.
And they can still shoot through the wall, I guess, if they really wanted to, because the walls are not bulletproof. So,
Oh, that's true.
if you wanted all security, this is more secure than it's ever been. So after we put the glass in, it'll be more secure than it's ever been. So, and that's the object of the grant, is to protect the money,
Secure our
basically,
assets.
and the individuals, and the people.
Right.
Yeah.
You said the cost of this was, we get a grant for $8,000 and we're only.
We'd be out
obligated to half.
we get $4,000. What we'll do is if it's over 8,000, we still get $4,000. So if you look at the low cost there, which is I think 8,300, something like that, it would cost us 4,300 to do that. 43,
would this be spread throughout the, all the departments, all the funds, or is it coming out of one particular fund?
No, this would spread across all the funds because it's a city hall thing and it would spread across as a city hall expense like the roof did and
Okay.
so
I was sort of thinking that's how it would have been paid for. Just wanted to make sure.
yeah, I think it's 13% out of the general fund. So
Okay.
whatever that is total.
Well, can these other two quotes get it done by May 1st or by May, whatever?
Yeah, I think many, what did the man say who from
They
BSW?
have said that, yes, they think that they can get it done. But until I have an answer for them, they're really not willing to, they think that they can get it done. And obviously we would make sure prior to, anything else. Right.
But we can get with them this week and make sure that they are able to start soon. Also, if you want to put this on the agenda for next week.
Any more questions? Okay, we'll move that to the board agenda.
Okay.
Was there a question? Somebody have something? Okay. Next item is draft of the agenda for the annual board retreat.
So it's already changed since I put the packet together last week a little bit. We did obtain the services of Marlon Mosby. He wants to be the facilitator. I offered him just to come and throw in his 2 cents whenever he wanted to, or be the facilitator. And he's very interested in being the facilitator. So he's got a couple ideas. And of course, I'm sure he'll have a lot of input into the discussion since it is financial mostly in nature. So I think it'll be a great thing. So he agreed with the way kind of the flow of the meeting. He thought it worked well. And he took a copy of the audit home and to review it, and a copy of our bond rating from Moody's. Anyway, so he took that stuff home with him to take a look at. So he's ready to come. He's very excited to come, actually.
Okay, so this agenda is not actually.
It's basically the same. It's I gave him a 30 minutes at the beginning. So from 8:15 to 9:40 to 8:45, it would be Marlon's thing that he wants to do special. And then then it would be 8:45 to 9 o'clock would be this to 9 I don't know, 9:15, I think,
Okay.
would be the past, the present, the future. So it's all still in there. It's just jammed in a little bit.
Okay,
Yeah, I think some of it'll just start 15 minutes later until we catch up.
okay. Item H, museum facade renovation project update.
Well, Andy was supposed to get me something yesterday, but he did not do it. But Andy is planning to go to bid next Wednesday. He put it in the paper. I've got to get that advertisement from him, start advertising next Wednesday. I have a pre-bid meeting sometime 2 weeks after that, and then open the bids in time for the board meeting on April the 12th. So he's ready to go. He was supposed to send me a more updated version of his specification, but he never did it yesterday. So I'll call Andy and make sure where we are on that, but he's ready to go. So we're pretty soon. This is going to start. This will come to the board for the April 12th meeting for a decision at that point.
Okay. Any questions on that? State of Tennessee proclamation.
So we received a proclamation from the state of Tennessee, and we are, this is for John David and his service. This is from the House. This is Ron Gant's proclamation. We also, let me see, hang on a second. We're going to go to another one here that was actually from the Senate. This one was mailed to me, texted to me from JD himself. This was Page's proclamation that he sent from the Senate. And there are a few more whereases on the Senate's proclamation than there are on the House's proclamation. But I just thought it was kind of interesting that they went ahead and did something at the state level for John David, who served 46 years on the board. They probably don't have a lot of people that serve 46 consecutive years on the board. I wouldn't think.
I wouldn't think so.
No. So-
Mayor, can this be put on the board agenda so it can be spread across the minutes of the meeting?
Sure, both of them.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Maybe I can get a better copy. He just took a picture of it and sent it to me. Maybe I can get a better copy of the other proclamation. Because I actually had a physical copy of the other one where I could scan it in easily.
Okay. Review the UT Martin Somerville Center roofing project bids.
Oh, sorry, hang on a second. I got off my share here. Oh, I just shared the wrong thing. Hang on a second. I'm looking for my, oh, here it is. Sorry. Okay. We had a bid opening for the UT Martin Somerville Center roofing project. We had 6 bids out of the 7 companies that took a packet out and showed up to the pre-bid meeting. The low bid is $76,500. The next bid was $78,200, so we're $1,700 apart on those 2 bids, which was pretty good. Anyway, we had a pretty competitive bidding for this roof, so I think it's a good price. We actually budgeted $70,000 for it. It's a little over budget, but I think we need to go ahead and talk about this next week.
Have we done work with either of those companies before?
Champion did the electric building, and Summit did the museum roof.
Okay.
So both of those companies, ARC did roofing at the, I think at the hospital. And I know Jesse Bryant did roofing at the hospital as part of our renovation there. But I know we know ARC also from somewhere. So, but I know the other 2 have done business for us directly.
Okay, both Summit and Champion.
Yes.
Okay. All right, we'll bring that forward to the board meeting. Public safety, the fire stats.
Here are the fire stats for February and for the last year, 13 months. Any questions on that? I still didn't get the breakdown on those EMS calls. I have to talk to Kel about that.
Any questions? Okay, police stats. Is the chief's not with us tonight?
No, sir.
Okay.
Any questions on that?
I got one question. I noticed that we do run radar on 64 during the school zone at Fayette Academy, but I don't see us running radar at Buckley. Is there a reason why we don't do it at both places, or is it more apt to speed on 64 or what?
Either that, or since the Buckley Carpenter is a county school, they probably put the sheriff's department out there. I know that the sheriff's department's out there on occasion. That's my only thinking.
Well, I don't know how much Buckley Carpenter's actually been in attendance.
Well, that's true.
Yeah,
That's
they've
true.
gone back. They would have started Monday, going back 4 days a week. But up until then, if they were like
have been-
Moscow, they were
Mhm.
less than half
Right.
each day.
That's right. And Harlan does park up at the Baptist church sometimes. I don't know if he's running radar, but you will see Somerville police officers in the morning. I'm not out during the afternoon, but I know that in the morning,
Yeah.
it's just kind of
Yeah, I saw
random.
him out there. Yeah.
Okay.
I would guess on that 4-lane 64 and people in a hurry to get to Memphis to get to work, that there's a lot more likelihood people are speeding down through there
Almost every day.
than
They've got
on
somebody pulled over.
76.
I was gonna say, I know they've got, every day that I pick up my kids from Fed Academy, there's somebody pulled over, which that's great because people don't need to be speeding
Mhm.
in a school zone. And I'm glad we do have somebody out there. I just didn't know if there was just something that if we did, was at present in school zones or not. Cause I don't normally see somebody at, on South Main,
Mhm.
but I always see somebody out there at on 64. I was just wondering if it was an agreement or if it's something that the police department did, in general.
No.
About that, Jason.
Okay.
Any other questions? Police Department monthly report.
So a few more things on here this month than last month. He hasn't been getting out a lot because of the COVID thing, but COVID is way down. So I guess he's been getting out a little bit more.
Okay. Review building permits issued and inspections made.
I guess the snow affected our permits this month. Not a lot of stuff going on there. And inspections are in pretty good shape here. I think, did I do the right one? I actually didn't put the updated. This is actually last month's. She did send this month's to me, but I forgot to change it out. But actually, no, this is February. Never mind. I got it. Sorry. That's February's. It's just slowing down a little bit because of, the weather, but Nicholas Place, they came in, picked up 3 today. So she was pretty busy permit wise today.
So they picked up 3 more for Nichols Place.
Yes, sir.
Well, they've got 3 slabs poured now that they hadn't even started framing on. So that
They
will
have now,
be,
right? Yeah, they have 13
That will-
total in there right now, permits total. Yeah. Between the original 7, and then they picked up 3. Now this would be the 3rd time they picked up 3 of them. So,
do we know anything about Meadows yet on Feathers Chapel?
yeah, there's some stuff going on there. I don't really know. Somebody's dragging their feet there, and DR Horton says it's one person, and the other person says it's the other person. So, we'll see how that all goes. We did. I know that they asked for another estimate on repairing the road from another paving company. So I don't know how all that's transpiring right now. We're trying to keep on top of it the best way we can. But they did put a sign out that they're selling houses out there, but they don't have a
Right.
house up. Right. So
That's good.
Okay.
I
Pardon me?
noticed that what's the one beside out on 64?
hedgerows.
No, it's not Hedgerows.
Bluff Creek?
It's Bluff Creek. That's it. I noticed that they're getting closer and closer to Warren Road. It's like at one time there wasn't many houses down, toward that end of the subdivision. but I noticed that it seems like they're coming closer and closer to Warren Road. So I'm
Right.
just assuming there's a lot more houses going up out there.
Well,
Well,
they're almost sold out. They are sold out. All the developed lots are now sold in that subdivision. And to get any closer to Warren Road, they would have to come back to the planning commission, and it's already been platted, but they would have to have a whole new development contract and everything else. So it'd be part of phase 2 is in the middle there. There's another 30 homes between the end of that road and Warren Road over there. So,
If-
they're not ready to go on that yet.
If they did do that, would that be a through street or just
Yeah, yes.
would it? Okay.
Yeah, they would be connected to Warren Road.
Okay.
The last time I was in there, I would say that there were 3 lots that were still, that nobody was building on.
Yeah, they're all sold though.
Yeah, there currently is not one available home that is not pending or contingent in all of Somerville city limits. There's not one home available to sell.
He was also, the guy who owns Bluff Creek was considering building or subdividing those 2 commercial lots out front and rezoning them for houses. But I anticipated that he was going to be back to me pretty quickly, but he hasn't gotten back to me yet. I don't know where he is on any of that stuff.
Well, that would be good if he would do that, quite
Yeah,
frankly.
Mhm,
I mean, it would be good for him too.
mhm.
Because if
I
he's
told
gonna
him-
wait to sell those as commercial lots, he's probably gonna be,
Well, we had that discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Said, you want to sell them now or you want to wait 10 years from now to
Yeah.
sell them, but anyway.
Where does the city limits actually begin there on 64?
Just
Is it-
past the graveyard out there.
Okay, so it's not all the way to the creek, to Treble Creek.
No, it's not. No, it is not. Now, on the other side
It's-
of the road it is. If you go on the north side of the road, it goes further west than the
Mhm.
south side of the road does.
Oh, okay, so it's more of an angle.
Yeah, it like cuts right across the road, like at a 90-degree angle.
Okay.
Kind of funny the way it goes, but I'm pretty sure that Treadwell Creek gate station is in the city limits. In fact, I know it is in the city limits.
Okay, well, I think that's on the other side of the creek then.
Yeah. Well, that's in the city limits.
Okay.
It's that big farm there. It's kind of a funny way the way the property lines go. I mean, the way the town limits go right there. I guess some property owners didn't want to be annexed in, so there were holes in it. But anyway, it's pretty unusual out there when you get further west.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
okay, code enforcement.
Here's the list of code enforcement. We had 19 violations addressed this month, and 11 of them have been resolved. You got some looks like one ongoing issue that she's been working on for a while. Some of the other ones have been resolved. So, are there any questions here?
All right, now where is 17,425 Highway 64?
That is the Three Brothers Automotive down there on the east side of Somerville. It's on the north side of 64.
It's right,
Close to Dollar Tree.
Thank you.
right beside O'Reilly's on the
Mhm.
west side.
Okay,
That's right.
okay. Any questions on code enforcement? Community Development Director's Report.
I went ahead and the first part of this, I went ahead and put tentative dates down for any of our events. Obviously, you all will go forward with that when we feel comfortable, but these are some tentative dates just based on, the last Thursday in July or June or the fireworks and so on and so forth. There are 5 Thursdays in September. So I wanted to make note of that. I wasn't sure how we handled that. But these are just our regular events. So like I said, I've just put them down tentatively. And once we feel comfortable or the board feels comfortable, we'll move forward with those. Besides that, like I said, we've been working on the cabinets, and we did get full approval for our initial downtown grant project, which was the Fair Theater awning, the mural, as well as possibly a lighted sign above the Fair Theater. And that we'll get to that later. We've moved forward with the Crone Memorial Phase 3, and I'm not sure if they've started on that. I don't believe they have, just because everything is put back a week because of the snow. Just a lot of questions from the community. Social media has been very busy, especially during the week of the snow, with, do we need to boil water? What's going on with this? What's going on with that? We also have a lot of questions regarding COVID vaccinations, things like that. You know, just a lot of stuff, but nothing real exciting on here. We did the Tennessee Tourism website. They contacted us. They really liked our videos, and they are going to give the town of Somerville an actual page on their website for tourism. So I'm excited about that. We have sent all of our photos and all of our reels that we got for that grant. You know, and I've been trying to get that on there for 2 years. So that was kind of a small win. And that is, it is what it is. So, but besides that, are there any questions?
Okay, I don't see any. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Let me see where we are now.
Planning Commission?
Planning Commission report.
Yes, sir. We just really discussed a draft of ordinance 2021-04. It's an ordinance, again, amending the zoning ordinance. We started working on that, and we started working on a draft of a zoning ordinance, another ordinance, which really we just started working on that one regarding some additional language for the sign ordinance. Really, that's all we worked on last month. We do have a BZA meeting next Tuesday, so we'll get that all taken care of for next Tuesday. So we will have a meeting next Tuesday. And I've revised 21-04 for that meeting, and I've been working on that sign ordinance draft also for that meeting, but we're a long way from getting anywhere on that right at the moment.
Any questions about the Planning Commission? If any of y'all are interested in the Planning Commission, you know, we're on Zoom, so you can attend from the comfort of your home if you would like to see what's going on. You don't even have to turn your camera on. You can just lean back and see what's happening. Item E, discuss hiring an artist to create the mural for the museum building.
You want to do this, Mindy? This is yours.
Sure. Yes, sir. Basically, because the grant has not been funded and we're not allowed to spend any money just yet. But it has been approved by that committee on economic community development. So our next steps on this is to go ahead and hire the awning company and choose the color for the new awning above the Fair Theater. And we also need to go ahead and contract with a mural artist. Basically, in my thinking, we will go ahead and move forward with hiring the mural artist based on the work that they've done. Once they're hired, we can request a more detailed rendering of what we want with making changes and things like that. And then the third, we will request 3 quotes on the Fair Theater lighted sign, as we've discussed in the past. So that's basically what we, in my opinion, what we need to do to move forward to do this grant in a timely manner. The awning company, I think that's already taken care of. Really, the color is what we need guidance on, and then hiring the mural artist. So
I really think that we're probably not going to get to the sign. I think by the time we get the artist hired and that mural painted, there won't be enough money to do the sign as well, unless we just.
And that's a very good chance. And I've let them know that that's kind of an add-on if we had additional funding.
Yes.
And they seem to be okay with that.
Okay. Is there anything we have to do on that, Mindy?
Nope, just,
Do we need- The artist again, or we just gonna, how are we gonna do that?
well, it's, so in the presentation I sent you, the artist 1, artist 2, and artist 3, those are our 3 muralists. And basically it's just up to the board, what you guys like. If you like certain designs, you know.
Of course, the third artist did not give us much to go on as far as what our design would look like. But he
Right.
did show some other artwork here, which is pretty
Right.
outstanding.
Well, and I had to beg and plead for the idea that they gave us. So they don't normally do that, but they understood for the, purposes of this.
All right, now what do we, with the price of this, are we going to have to bid this out?
Bob had spoken to the comptroller, I believe, and because it is a professional service, we are not required to bid it out.
Yes. I spoke to the auditors.
Or sorry, the auditors.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we even have an idea of maybe what a mural would cost?
We're looking at between $10,000 and $15,000.
And what size would that be?
Well, it just kind of depends on how detailed, we choose to go.
Yeah, the bigger, the more it costs.
Right.
Well,
Well,
I
and the
mean,
more detailed, the
that.
more it costs.
So we just need to get to a point where when we have a hired artist, then we have to start working on, what's that design going to look like? So
Right.
and then we'll, more know where we are financially on that, I think. We do have $15,000 grant, which if we spend $15,000, we'll get $15,000 back. So if we spend $16,000, we have to put $1,000 of our own money in it.
Right.
So-
Right now, the awning, the cost of that is approximately $2,100. And then, like I said, the mural, it could cost anywhere between 10 and 15. It just depends on, how large you want it and then how detailed you want it.
I guess we could figure that once we get some renderings and ideas from the person that we hire.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
Or artist number 3 proposal, is that, there would have obviously been something inside the circle there, I'm assuming?
Yes, I'd given them some examples of what I felt like we were kind of looking for, and they said there would be something inside that would basically be the board's choice, what you would want to highlight. It just, they like the framed out piece on that wall. But again, and both of those circles are the windows
Yeah,
that
these
are
two
on that
circles right here,
side.
this circle here.
Yeah, those are so it would be incorporating those windows into it. And then they felt like if we chose to do a second phase to the mural, it would be a good starting point where we could, branch out off of that, if that makes sense.
But if you look at examples of their other artwork, of course, I can imagine Collierville's cost a little bit more than $15,000. But
I believe it was 70 or something, 70,000.
right, just saying.
Yeah.
But it is the length of that building, and I've seen that mural before.
It's gorgeous. Yeah.
I've not seen the other two murals that he's got on this thing.
All right, well, like up there on Artist One proposal where he's got the tractor and the cotton bowl and the farm scene that stretches a good bit of the building. I mean, is that is that mural $15,000, or is that just an example that if we actually wanted that, it'd be $65,000? Do we know?
I gave that muralist, I gave her our budget. She felt like that, that one might go a little bit over, but she said it's really kind of depending. She liked the idea of spreading it over the entire thing. And she said, we could stop at 2 or 3 frames and then we could always add on to it. So she did not give me a hard price for that. She just basically said this is kind of a concept and we could, kind of drill down on that once we, move forward. The 2 murals above it, those were the ones that I initially received for the alleyway. And I told her, I said, they look great. I don't know if the board would be interested in that, but that's some work that she had already done for us. So she just added those, and said, this is also an option.
I'm not sure what the guitar has to do with Somerville, to tell you.
Well, and that's kind of that's what Bob and I were talking about. The guitar, it was, the reason we did it for the alley is that we were hoping to
Well, sure, we're going to have
those-
music in there, yeah.
Exactly. Well, and spotlight the Somerville artists,
Right.
so that's kind of why that's on there, just because it's some work that she had done. But she said, hey, I like the idea of having the different frames as well.
So the one thing I kind of like about the guitar, not the guitar itself, but the wall is just painted gray, and then the mural is basically individual little paintings on the wall where it doesn't take up the entire wall. It's just some different ideas along the wall. I think that's kind of an interesting idea, and probably less expensive. I'm just guessing, but I guess the less paint you use and the less time it takes, it's going to cost less. But
Right.
I don't know. That was I just looking at that. It just kind of taking up the entire wall with an idea or a couple ideas is kind of an interesting thing, I think.
I like that too.
Yeah.
Taking up the whole wall.
Now, with this house, how quick do we need to do this?
Like I said, it was not, it
I
has
mean, the
not been.
grant is the grant expire on June 30th, or is it
No,
December the
no, sir.
31st, or?
No, sir, this is
year.
a 2-year grant. We are actually way ahead of schedule on this. However, Miss Laura Todd is wanting us to get it completed by December 31st. So we might have a possibility of applying for the next grant that will be available. This is normally a 2-year grant, but we'll be able to finish it in probably 12 months or less. And I think that's really kind of the push for it. But no, we're not screaming, we're not out of time or, anything like that. It's just, I want to make sure that we're as far ahead as we possibly can be, just for weather and booking the artist and things like that.
But is this the first project for the Arts Council?
This wouldn't, well, that's a good, I don't know.
That's a good
That's up to
idea.
you guys.
I mean, I'm just sitting here thinking that when somebody said, why did you put that on the side of the wall? I could always say, well, the Arts Council decided on that. I had nothing to do with it.
Well, I don't know if this would get you out of the, I guess we created, or we won the grant before we had an arts council. So that might be an excuse. I don't know. But, again, so we have the, we have the downtown committee and all of that. And like I said, I mean, if you wanted to go ahead, hire the artist, and then if we wanted to bring on, once you appointed the arts council, we would absolutely be happy to send this to them and have them make a recommendation to the board. However you want to do it, you just let me know.
Okay, well, let's think through this and let's put this on the agenda for Monday night and we can see.
So I'm assuming
If we
you've
wanna-
already appointed everybody, Mayor, to the Arts Council?
I have not received any nominations from the board members at this point.
I've got some nominations.
Okay. If I could get those from you.
Okay.
And so let's put this on the agenda for Monday night, and we may need to discuss further on how we want to do this. We may want to interview the artist. Does the board want to just look at pictures and say, okay, we choose number 2, or everybody think through this and see how you think we want to proceed as to whether we would want to actually interview the artist, if we would, I know, of course, probably not on this size project, but I do know that on some arts projects, people submit proposals and then they win the job by what they've submitted. But let's think through that and let's talk about it again on Monday night, if that's agreeable to everyone.
Okay.
Okay, Public Works Manager's report.
Any questions on Jeep's report here?
Mr. French, you've been awfully quiet tonight.
Well, Mayor, I was fixing to say something right now.
Okay.
First, I appreciate them, how fast they got that road fixed on 64 where that water leak was. That was, they did as good a job, I think, as they could do. And I'd like, hope we would commend all of the employees that worked during the snow and ice and kept City Hall open and kept the city services going. I'm very appreciative of that, because I think citizens, when I talked to Mindy, if I can speak for her, and she said, we received a lot of calls. And I think that's reassuring when somebody's there and answering that telephone for the citizens.
Well, I think reading about some of the things that happened in other cities, we really had no major problems that I'm aware of. I hope we didn't, or I would have been told about it. But yes, I think our employees did a wonderful job through that. And just having to be out in that weather and take care of water lines and frozen meters, and it's pretty tough. And they did a great job. And once again, I'm very appreciative too of what they've done, how proud they are of their work. And we're proud of what they do. Are there any questions on that report? Next item is the monthly report.
This is my monthly report. Just to give you a little recap of this month, which is not on this report as far as gas usage goes. Previously, since I've been doing the gas department, we've sold more than 10,000 units of gas in one day, only one time. And that was, I think, 2 or 3 years ago when the temperature was five degrees or something like that. This month, we had 4 days over 10,000 and 1 day almost 12,000. So that's attributed to the additional meters and the additional customers that we have. But that's, you know, a lot of gas in 1 day. We also, because of all of the work we've been doing in the gas department, we did not have anywhere near the difficulty maintaining our pressure going out to the end of our system as we had in the past. So this has really saved our guys an immense amount of time trying to keep everything, nursing those, basically what they used to do, nursing the gas out to the end of the systems. It was a lot easier this time, and it was a lot colder for several days. So the gas projects we've been doing have paid off. And we still have some more to go, but you know, we have a little ways to go on some things, but you know, we're in really good shape in our gas department. So just wanted to let you know that. When during the winter storm, the height of it, that Monday and Tuesday, something happened to the market, the gas market, and in Oklahoma, gas was selling for, I think, $900 a decatherm, where we pay, well, our average cost of gas is $2.75 a decatherm. So I don't know what happened, and nobody really knows what happened. Some kind of market anomaly. I don't know what happened, but anyway.
So is that free market, unregulated capitalist system out there?
I think it's because they cut off the pipeline up there in Pennsylvania. Anyway, but I'm only playing. I don't have any idea what that is. But you know, lots of places, you know, of course, ran out of gas, ran out of water. You know, the water usage was through the roof during that time. And anyway, it was kind of interesting. We did make it through without any problems. But we'll have more about that at the retreat, to talk about that stuff at the retreat. But we did have, like Mendy said earlier, we had a lot of customers calling, wondering if we were doing a boil or not, and having a boil alert or not. So we did not have to do any boil water alerts at all this time. So I thought that was pretty good. As far as the projects go, here's all the projects on here. They should be back here. They were supposed to be back here in March to finish the sidewalks for that 2015 grant, but obviously the weather's probably put them behind a week or two. So we're gonna call them this week and see what's going on with that. Lakeview Road sidewalks going down there to the UT Martin Somerville Center should hopefully start June or July, August, somewhere in there. We should go to bid very shortly here. So they're working on that. They're getting close to being finished with the specifications for that. The multimodal grant is probably, that's the Death Triangle grant. That's probably 3-4 months behind because we had a little bit difficulty getting the environmental completed. So we're a little behind on that.
Is that the project that A2H is handling?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes. They hired an outside agency to do the environmental, where TLM did it in-house, and it made a big difference in how fast it got done. Anyway, gas reliability phase 7 is complete now. Phase 8, we actually have just about ready to go. Probably going to be in time for next year's budget for sure. Probably early next year's budget. Firehouse construction project, Fleming was supposed to give us an update tonight, but they should be ready to go. They did add an extra month to our timeline because of USDA approvals that need to be completed. So the UT Martin Somerville Center roofing project is on the agenda for next week. And the facade project again should be awarded. Well, we should have the bids on the April 12th board meeting for consideration for an award, and then it should start. I think he's got like 2 weeks to start it after that. So it should be done before June 30th this year. So,
Any questions on that? Okay, retreat on Saturday, March 13th at 8 o'clock a.m. Discuss location.
Zoom or in person. So,
Well, I think we had said in person with social distancing and
okay, just want to make sure.
observing proper protocols in that big room where it would be set up where people could maintain social distance.
Yes, sir. We're working on getting a working, who's coming to the, attendance. So we know how many tables to put up, how many chairs to put up and all that kind of stuff. So we also need lunch menu was sent out by Mendy. Several people haven't turned in their lunch menu. Hopefully board members who want to attend that meeting will give us their lunch order. It's going to be a box lunch, so we don't have everybody sneezing all over everybody's ribs. Mike.
Was that a email from Mindy? I don't think I received that.
Okay. Yeah, it wasn't
Yes,
email.
sir.
Yeah.
I believe I sent it yesterday, so it's just in the last day or so.
Okay.
I can
I'll check.
resend it. I'll be happy to resend it.
Okay.
Sure.
I'll let you know if I didn't.
Yeah, I just
get it.
think it's prudent. We thought it was prudent to do a box lunch just because of all this stuff. We don't want, people spreading it out of the buffet table. So,
Right.
Well, and touching utensils and things like that.
right, all that stuff and having to deal with plastic gloves at the buffet table and all that. So, or
Okay.
calling numbers to see who's next or something like that. We didn't want to do all that. I did that at too many weddings. We don't need to do that anymore.
Okay, item B, review the contract with A2H to continue to provide planning services to the town.
Yes, Tom has not reviewed this. Tom's on vacation. This says January 22nd. I received it today from Jim. So I guess they decided we needed to get going on this today. So anyway,
Okay.
put it in the packet this morning. And Tom will review this when he gets back from vacation on Monday before we discuss approval on it.
Are
It's a
there
3-year deal at the same rates we were paying before.
Okay, so it's the same contract.
It's basically the same contract. It's a 3-year deal at the same rate.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
and that's based on how much we use him and not just a set price.
That's an hourly rate.
Okay. He is doing an excellent job,
Yes.
so very pleased with
He really
the
is.
service they've provided.
Yes, and it's a great thing for me to be able to call him very easily and just talk to him to get some direction on some of this stuff. He reviews my stuff, sends it back to me. It's working out really well.
Okay, we'll move that forward to the agenda.
Okay.
Is there anything else?
Yeah, Mindy, I got the email, but
Yes, sir.
apparently it is let me look right quick, a windmill form, and I can't open up the menu for some reason. Could you send
Okay,
it in a PDF or something?
yeah, it was sent in a PDF.
Okay, well, what I got says windmill.dat, and it just won't let me open it up.
Yeah, I'll resend it.
We'll send
I
it
don't-
again.
Yeah, don't open that, Jason, because I don't even know what that is. Who knows? But yeah, I'll be happy to resend it and just let me know if you have a
Okay.
problem reading it again.
Okay.
And
Okay,
I wanted to make I was telling Bob that the governor has extended the public meeting, on Zoom or whatever media that you're using, to April the 28th. So Mayor, I knew you probably already knew that, but
I had heard that, yes.
okay.
And we can decide, from month to month, we can decide what we want to do, whether if things keep going like they are right now.
Sure.
But then I think there are some people concerned that people are going to think things are over with. It's time to just go back to doing what we were doing and everybody go to spring break and
Right.
take vacations and quit wearing masks. I noticed Texas is apparently about to rescind its mask ordinance, and so everybody's going to declare things finished, and then we have another outbreak. So
Right.
everybody would just stay calm for just a little while longer
I agree.
and get this behind us.
I agree.
All right, I'll get off the soapbox now. Anybody else have anything?
Yeah, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Tennessee Municipal League Legislative Conference is March the 15th. I believe it's at 11:30 a.m. It is free to, it's on Zoom. The governor, the Speaker of the House, the Lieutenant Governor, and I believe the comptroller are all going to speak.
Did you
So
say it was free?
Yeah, it's free. It's free.
So you don't have to sign up.
Well,
You
you
need to
have to
sign up.
sign up to get
Yeah,
the Zoom
You
address.
sign up, but you don't have to pay for it.
No,
Right.
you sure don't.
Okay.
I sent it to you, Bob. If you could send it to everyone else, I sure would appreciate it.
Okay. When did you send it to me, Mike?
Well,
Yes.
when you had Amanda sign me up.
Okay. Okay. I'll find it.
Okay.
Amanda signed you up. You couldn't sign up on your own.
Mayor, I have technical difficulties. I even had tough technical difficulty today. I ain't getting on.
I thought you had been doing better, Mike.
Well, I don't know what to say.
Where did,
But everyone is invited to
Yeah.
come on and listen to these officials.
I just put on the screen, David sent me a picture of the mural that used to be on the building, I guess.
Oh, wow.
Now, there was another one that was
That
there
was,
in the
that was,
early.
the- yeah, that was one,
2000s.
that's an example of how not to do a mural.
well, I would say that would be considered more of an advertisement. I suspect Coca-Cola paid for that, didn't
Oh,
they?
I'm sure they did.
did.
They painted the Coke sign and the Dr. Pepper sign right on top of each other.
Right. They sure did.
Yeah.
What was the mural that was up there in the 2002, 2003, around that time?
That was the
That's-
one at the courthouse. Yeah.
Right.
That's right.
I remember that when I was little.
Do we have a,
Mhm.
pic-
I've
well,
got
who
one
was little?
there, but I
I-
haven't found it.
I
Go
do
ahead.
have a picture of it.
Could
Oh,
you
you did?
send that out to everybody?
Sure.
Yeah, I sure will.
Oh, you have a picture
Send
of
it
it?
to David too, so he will have it.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it.
I remember
Did you
that.
talk to the people that did that? Were there, are they still
Yeah,
in the
he-
business? What are they?
Yes, sir. He was, I believe, artist number 2 on
Okay,
that.
What was his name?
And, oh gosh,
they were from Galloway at the time, but I think they've since
That's-
moved to Bartlett or something. Is that what you told me?
well, that's right. So they do mostly signage now. He said prior, about a year before I called him, he had thrown out the stencil for the old one. And he's like, I knew when I threw it away that I might need that sometime, but he's like, I haven't needed it for however many years. So he went ahead and threw it away. I have his information and everything, but yes, I did contact the original muralist for that, for that one. And
Okay.
yeah, but he was artist number 2. Those were his ideas.
Okay. Why can't I think of their names?
I want to say Goldsby.
Goldsby, that's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
Goldsby.
Yeah, that was it. Stephen Goldsby or something like that.
Maybe well, you know what? I probably have it on my phone.
I don't know, but that
Ken
Goldsby was his
Goldsby.
name.
Yeah,
Ken,
Ken Goldsby, that's right.
that's it.
Okay. All right, if there's not anything else, we will see everybody Monday night on Zoom at 7 o'clock.
Okay. Thank you.
Perfect.
See
Have
y'all.
a good night, everybody.
Yes, sir.
Ah.
Yes, sir.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Good night.